Welcome to Learning with UNP. In this session of Python for Data Science, we are going to understand about function with return types. That includes what is a function with return type and what is a function with multiple return types. Let's begin with understanding about function with return types. A function with a return type is a function that performs some operations and sends back a result to the caller using the return statement. Using return, you can write a function that returns a value. You can assign the returned values to a variable which can be used in whatever manner you choose. This is useful when you need to use the results your function produces for something else. Here is the syntax of it. Def function name with two arguments, include a code block, return a result. This part of code has a Python function named function name that takes two arguments, arg1, arg2. Inside the function, there is a code block where you can perform operations, and at the end of the function, it returns a result using the return keyword. Now, let's look at the pseudocode representation of it. Step 1. Define a function with required arguments. Means create a function with specific inputs needed for its operation. Step 2. Perform the necessary operations within the function. Means inside the function perform the necessary calculations or actions using these inputs. Step 3. Use the return statement to send the result back to the caller. Means send the result of these operations back to the caller using the return statement. Step 4. Call the function with the required arguments. Means call the function providing the required arguments. Step 5. Capture the returned value from the function. Means capture the value returned by the function after its execution. Step 6. Use the returned value as needed. Means utilize this returned value as needed in the program. Here is an example demonstrating a function with return type. The first line defines a function named addNumbers with two required parameters a and b. Inside the function, it calculates the sum of a and b. The return result statement sends the calculated sum back to the caller using the return statement. Sum result equals to add numbers 15 of 17. This part of line calls the function add numbers with 15 and 17 as arguments. The returned value from the function is captured in the variable sum result. Finally, the value is printed by the print statement. Let's execute this and check. After execution, the value stored in sum result is printed, which is the sum of 15 and 17, that is 32. Let's move on to understanding function with multiple return types. A function with multiple return types can return more than one value. This allows the caller to receive multiple results from a single function call. In Python, it is possible to return multiple values from a function. This can be done by separating the values with a comma. The returned values can then be assigned to multiple variables. Here is the syntax of it. Def function name with two arguments, include the code block and return multiple results separated by commas. What this part of code does is it has a function named function name that takes two arguments. Inside the function, there is a block of code where you can perform operations and it returns three results separated by commas. Now, let's look at the pseudocode representation of it. Step 1. Define a function with required arguments. Means create a function with specific inputs needed for its operation. Step 2. Perform the necessary operations within the function. Means inside the function perform necessary calculations or actions using these inputs. Step 3. Use the return statement to send multiple results back to the caller. Means use the return statement to send back multiple results to the caller if needed. Step 4. Call the function with the required arguments. Means call the function providing the required arguments. Step 5. Capture the returned values from the function. Means Capture the values returned by the function after its execution. Step 6. Use the returned values as needed. Means utilize these returned values as needed in the program. Finally, here is an example demonstrating a function with multiple return types. The first line defines a function named calculate operations with two required parameters a and b. Inside the function, it calculates the sum, difference, and product of a and b. Using the return statement for multiple results, it sends back these results as a tuple to the caller. Here, the function calculate operations is called with arguments 17 and 19, and the returned values, that is sum, difference, and product, are captured in sum result, diff result, prod result respectively. And the print statement prints the output. Let's execute and check. Sum: 17 plus 19 is 36. Difference: 17 minus 19 is minus 2. Product: 17 into 19 is 323. This is all about today's lecture. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.